powered by Riverside FM.
Coffee. It's everywhere. In many ways, it's the 21st century drink of choice. Most of us are coffee drinkers, and it underlies our behavior and our daily routines. I personally am one of those who, first thing in the morning, will make and drink a cup of coffee. For others, it's a key part of their morning to have a designated coffee break, or to have a moment where you have a coffee shared with a loved one. For those of us that live in towns and cities, it's normal to take a coffee from a cafe. May that be before work, whilst we're out and about, or perhaps as a designated coffee break. The growth of this routine has helped to underpin the preponderance of coffee stores that we see available on the high street. I think most of us would intuitively feel that the number of coffee shops available has increased in recent years. Looking at some high-level stats, we see that in 2015 there were around 18,000 stores in the UK, increasing to around 26,000 now. That seems to fit with our expectations. There was a dip during a period of COVID, where social restrictions harmed the case of some of the coffee stores. Overall, though, this growth in coffee stores is in sharp contrast to pubs closing. Only this weekend, I've walked past 2 pubs which had recently closed down and were not being reopened under new management, but rather were boarded up and looked to be permanently closed. Does this fate for pubs reflect a change in habit whereby our social meeting points are shifting away from pubs, perhaps due to alcohol prices, perhaps due to cultural factors, and shifting now more towards meeting in cafes? If so, then I think there are some benefits of that. Old-fashioned pubs tend to have less pleasant interiors. They were often male-dominated, cliquey spaces, and indeed, drinking coffee over alcohol is likely to have many health benefits. Whilst addiction to caffeine is a risk and does have some long-term health consequences, most people, the vast majority of the population, enjoy coffee in a way which brings nothing but pleasure to them. For those of us that do drink coffee, I think the main attraction is the taste. Obviously, the role of caffeine does have a role in bringing us back to drinking coffee. And I personally have also felt that there's something about the ritual of either making or buying coffee which is attractive to people. It's a moment in a day where you have some certainty and security of knowing what will happen, of knowing that you'll have a nice warm, hot cup to put your hands round and to reassure you. For those of us buying coffee from a store, there's also a degree of productization. We feel good about buying a Americano or a cappuccino. It's a nice feeling. And that's indeed borne out by evidence of the amount of money that Brits spend on coffee. One survey, admittedly by a Cafe Society, estimated that we spend around £2,000 a year on coffee from coffee shops. Quite an astonishing amount of money. I do like coffee, but I'm not a connoisseur. I wouldn't describe myself as knowledgeable as to the different flavors of different types of coffee, or indeed in the different ways that it is made. Therefore, as a non-coffee connoisseur, I often find myself baffled when purchasing coffee in a cafe. Just exactly what is going on with all those machines and contraptions behind the bar. Indeed, if these are stores which are aiming to sell coffee to the public, why exactly does it take so long? Surely they should be able to provide coffee quickly to their customers. If I watch a barista, what they have to do seems as complicated as any engineer or pilot. They're pushing buttons, pulling levers, emptying trays, and the amount of steam that's generated seems to be more than in the steam room of my local gym. Surely there must be a better way, And a quicker way. If I was to advocate anything, it would be fast coffee. It can't be on the wit of man to make good but quick coffee, given the amount of demand for it. Never mind. In the meantime, pass me a cup of instant.